Hello, hello. See if anybody's going to drop on. And I am starting this video on my Facebook business page, my Facebook page. You're supposed to do that, and I haven't been doing it, and now I just got to share it. Anyway, so give me a second here. I got to share it to a couple places. No, I thought this was a good title. What do you think of the title? Oh, I don't know. I think it's sharing it. Oh, here we go. On my timeline. There we go. Say hello if you pop on. I would love to know who's watching. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know, because that is cool. Now, sharing it to all these places in a group. Now, if you are watching me on my business page or my personal page, okay, which is Diana Marchand, they're both called Diana Marchand. I would rather have you well, you're already friends on my personal, but stay friends with me on my business, not my personal, and be in my Facebook community group, Women Creating Healthy Lives, because that is where I really want this community to be. Like basically the women who follow me and are wondering about the midlife phase, all the things that we go through, the changes, how to handle them better, how to understand them, what to eat, what to do, how to, think about them, how to shift your mindset, how to stay on track, all of those good things. So I had this, I wonder if anybody's going to pop on. What time is it in Canada? In Vancouver, around Vancouver, it is 9 o'clock p.m. right now, a bit after 9. We should have some people on Facebook. The fires in BC and California are really bad. I remember it last August when I was there. It's so disappointing because the weather finally gets really nice, but then you don't want to go outside because it's so smoky. You can't see the beautiful views. Tourists come for holidays. It's so hot, and yet you can't see the blue sky or the sun, and it's just, British Columbia is beautiful, when you can see it, but these wildfires are just out of hand and really wreaking havoc everywhere. It's really sad. Really sad. All right, is anybody watching me? It's weird, when I start on my business page, I don't get many people watching me, so that's why I stick to my personal. I don't know, Facebook, I don't know what to tell you. All right, well, I'm just going to start this because for people watching the replay, I don't want you to sit here for so long. Of course, you can fast forward, always fast forward. All right, the topic today was, I was thinking about this. I had this sitting up in bed doing work the other night, and I was like, I remember in my 30s and 40s, in my 20s and 30s, especially 30s, was my favorite decade by far. Hello, who's dropped on? Say hello so I know who's here. I don't even know what page you're watching right now. I got them on 3 pages. Ha, Judy, I think. Hi, Judy. Anyways, this was so interesting because I was thinking when I was in my 30s, best decade ever. Who agrees with me? Who agrees with me that the 30s is the best decade by far? So in my 30s, I was in the best shape of my life. Hi, Judy. I was in the best shape of my life in my 30s. I felt fantastic. I was doing adventure races. I was doing kayaking. I was running. Trail running was my thing, really hard mountain and trail runs. I was doing mountain biking. I was a personal trainer. I was a yoga instructor. All the things. And I felt fantastic. I looked fantastic, the best shape of my whole entire life. And I was thinking, this is great. I'm just going to get better with age. I'm just going to keep getting better. And then, early 40s, we can still be good, right? Oh, 40s were pretty. 40s can be pretty good. Beginning of the 40s was really good for me. And then about 43, I was started really young. 43 when that perimenopause started coming in for me. And that's really when everything started to really go kind of downhill. And also it was. So this is what it is like. So we're able to be like a super woman in our 30s, right? Really, truly, you can get your hormones are still pretty good if you eat healthy, if you have a good, healthy lifestyle, right? So when we're working on a healthy lifestyle in our 30s, it is so much easier, so much easier. And so we can get to these higher levels. We can look amazing and we can get to these levels of feeling good, body's functioning perfect. That's if we're taking care of ourselves, of course, of course, of course. And all that. And it kind of comes easy. We can lose weight. We're like, yeah, you know, I just have to clean up my diet for a week or two and I've lost those few pounds, no problem at all. That's the way I was, right? I felt like I could do anything. I had lots of energy. I worked full time. Like I said, I was mountain biking. I was doing races on the weekend. I was volunteering for a race company. Oh my God, I was traveling. I was doing everything, right? And I'm like, this is excellent. Oh my God, I'm on top of the world. This is no problem. I got it. And then, you know, in my kind of mid 40s is when I started to go, and it's quite a shock because I was thinking how much this changes us and how it kind of can lead to anxiety, depression a bit, because we were feeling so good for those years, that while we were feeling so good, then all of a sudden, like this happens, right? And, you know, I was like, man, I remember that. I remember how horrible I felt about that and how it affected me on so many levels, especially my moods. And therefore, it can lead to a bit of depression, definitely lead to more stress, feeling down about yourself, feeling bad about your body because all of a sudden now you're gaining the weight in the places that is not nice, right? All of a sudden you got this belly and all this stuff. Your clothes don't fit. You don't look good in those clothes anymore. Well, it's unbelievable. So we kind of go from the superwoman, and then, right, if we're still trying to do all those activities, like I went into burnout when I hit perimenopause because I didn't know what I was going through. And so I continued. I was one-on-one personal trainer. I was doing all my personal training with clients, plus on the side, my own workouts, kayaking, adventure racing, you know, mountain biking, running, all of those things on the side. That was like, you know, 14 hours a day of working out, basically, because I could handle it in my 30s. And then when all the changes started happening in my body, which our hormones really start fluctuating, our body can't handle all that anymore. It just can't. We don't know it can't. It knows. So it starts to break down. I started to get injuries. Because when our body gets tired, when it wants a break, when it needs a break, but we're not used to that because we're like, well, I used to be able to do all this, so just suck it up. I can still do it. I don't know what is the problem, right? So we just push it, right? And then our body starts to break down. It's like, whoa, I'm trying to handle all these fluctuations, all these things that are going on, lady, and you're still acting like a wild woman, like everything's perfect. Nothing's perfect right now, right? Your body's screaming out. Things are going a little strange. You can't do what you're doing anymore, but we don't know that. And so I definitely ended up in adrenal fatigue. When your ovaries start producing less estrogen, you end up in we start decreasing progesterone first, but you're not producing hormones like you used to, and things start going well. And so your adrenal glands, which produce the adrenaline and your cortisol, your stress hormones, those are the ones that give you the energy, give you that burst. And when you're really working out, or like I was doing a lot of those races, I was using a lot of that, right? Like I was really already taxing my adrenal glands. So then now all of a sudden when they're starting to be required to do more work and produce some of the hormones, then that's too much for them. They're going, whoa, we need you to slow down, right? You're still doing all that crazy stuff. You're still working us super hard. You're not giving us a rest. And now you want us to produce more hormones for you. Well, we're not going to do that. I'm sorry. So they get tired. They start to get, so you start to feel worse and worse. You start to go like, oh, right? You start to feel worse. You start to get tired. You start to feel like unmotivated and uninspired almost. Has anybody felt those things? Did you notice that when you began going through perimenopause? Like I said, because I went from super woman, being able to do everything and all things, super healthy, super fit, fantastic, to all of a sudden my body started breaking down because it couldn't handle everything at once. So our body really requires, also the nutritional requirements kind of change. We need more minerals. We need a lot of minerals for our hormones. Our hormones run on minerals and omega-3s. And so, we're also losing muscle mass, right? So we're losing muscle mass, and then therefore when you lose muscle mass and you're not working at it, you gain more fat automatically. So like you just don't burn fat as fast, right? So again, then when our hormones are decreasing, we're not fat burning machines anyways. So, and as your hormones and the stress hormones get too many stress hormones, you get too stressed, then your immune system gets lowered. Then too much stress, which can be still the good stuff, the working out like crazy, the running, like I was doing all those things, still stress on my body though, still stress on my body. My body sees that good stress during that time of that transition as, oh my God, stress, right? So then I'm being depleted of everything. So that's how you end up feeling. You end up feeling like, oh my God, I feel completely depleted. I just am feeling burnt out. And that's exactly what is happening. You are burning yourself out. That's exactly what's happened. Your adrenal glands are saying, oh, I'm about to give up here. And I ended up in adrenal fatigue, like extremely bad. So I was a personal trainer working one-on-one with clients. That was at this small studio. So here I am and getting up and like doing the stairs at 7 a.m. Like literally, right? With clients up and down. That's like such a hard workout. Oh my God, I could barely get out of bed. I could barely move. I was drinking huge cups of coffee, not even knowing that what I had, I didn't know was adrenal fatigue. I also didn't know I was in perimenopause, and I certainly didn't know coffee was going to plummet me even lower and make it all worse. So it made it worse. So I finally, after, I couldn't even barely make it through the day. I wanted to just sleep, but here I had to work out with clients. And then at the end of the day was when I got to do my training, my fun stuff, my mountain biking. And I still would push myself through that because I would be like, suck it up, woman, suck it up. You can do it. Don't be such a baby, right? And I just completely burnt myself out. And when I finally went into the naturopath, you guys literally went into the naturopathic office with, the Starbucks, the tall Starbucks. That was my second or third of the day. It was about 3:00 p.m. I had the biggest Starbucks Americano, and I was exhausted. So she does an adrenal test. It was a urine test this time. Back then, she did it. She also asked me a whole bunch of questions, did all blah, blah, blah. She figured I was in adrenal fatigue. And then we got back the results. I went back for the results with her, and she said, I've almost never seen anybody as low as you are. She goes, I don't know how you're walking around. And I'm like, well, I'm training. I'm not only walking around, I'm a personal trainer, and I'm taking people to do the stairs, and I'm taking people to do trail runs and all of this, right? And she's like, I don't know how you're doing it, but you got to stop it. And at that time, I was also a carboholic, I guess. I wasn't eating meat. So I figured I was eating healthy. So here's another thing about the midlife and why things need to change. I cannot stress it enough. In my 30s, even 20s, yes, I could eat oatmeal. Yes, I could eat French fries. Yes, I could eat rice, brown rice. Yes, I could eat all of those things. Yes, I could have crackers. Yes, I could have those things. They actually fueled me, gave me energy. I felt great. I was working out so much that I didn't put on the weight. Then, the early 40s start to come, and I'm still eating all that food. Plus, my body's getting exhausted. So my body's not working right anyways. The hormonal levels are all over the place. And our hormones really do control also how we metabolize our food, and if it goes to fat, and if it doesn't. Well, what I was eating was going to fat. And that's the problem with these carbohydrates in midlife. Yeah, you eat them, and they basically go to fat. Especially if you are in any kind of bit of fatigue, tired, adrenal burnout, insulin resistance from constantly eating so many carbs all the time. So it's like you're used to eating a lot, right? You have been. They didn't affect you in a negative way before. And then you go into this phase of life where your hormones start changing, and all of a sudden they affect you differently. And same with fruit. Fruit is the same. They affect you differently, and all of a sudden now those carbs and bananas and fruit, what they do now is go right to fat. They convert it right to sugar right away. They're not used as energy, right to fat. And then you don't understand. So what that does too is it spikes your blood sugar level, and you end up with this ups and these crashes and down and low energies and exhaustion and and feeling lightheaded if you don't eat them and all of that stuff. So it's just interesting when I was thinking about this, that title came to me, From Superwoman to Super Sloth, because that's what it feels like in midlife, right? That's what it feels like when it hits you and when things change and it's so hard to understand what's going on. And unless you get it under control at that time, but if you stay unaware of it, unaware of how these changes are affecting you and unaware, and so not changing anything within yourself or in your diet, in what you're doing, your lifestyle, not as so thinking, I can still handle the stress because I used to be able to handle it, so I don't understand what's the difference, right? But that's the thing too, is that you cannot handle the same amount of stress that you used to be able to handle. And I know some people would be like, oh, it's all in your mind. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. Now, I do believe that to some extent. Absolutely. I'm a really believer in the mind over the body. But there's also times when we are caught up in this superwoman state of being. And it's not really right anyways, right? When we think we need to do so much. We get caught up in doing for so many others, and we don't really give ourselves the downtime, the relaxing time, the self-care that we should. Do you see what I mean? So it's not that it has to be this way. It ends up being that way because we are not probably taking as good care of ourselves as we should have been anyways. See what I mean? So if we would be someone who's like exercised to kind of a good level, maybe didn't work full time and had time in the afternoon to do what they wanted, like had more of a balanced life, which no woman really does now. So that's why we're noticing these big changes and why so many women are having so many problems at this phase too, or noticing like, oh my God, right? Plus the junk food, as in our food is full of junk now. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Is there anything you can relate to? Who's still watching? Maybe you do. I'm on 3 pages right now, so I can't figure out. I'm trying to do more for my business page, but I'm not a fan of doing that. Just because people aren't used to me being there anymore. And also, low battery. Oh my God, my phone always has a low battery. Jeez. Judy. Sounds like my story. Sorry, my glasses. As ate same food, but thankfully wasn't much sweet fruit. Right, yeah. But did eat dairy. Yeah, dairy's not the worst. It's not the worst. What's the worst is like the starchier carbs and let's say if you're eating, the fast food or even the conventional meats, a lot of the conventional meats, which have so many hormones in them. So those fake hormones are getting into our body and then disrupting everything, along with the hormone from the birth control pill too, right? But yeah, our foods do need to change. That is the thing. That is key. But also your lifestyle. I think, so often people focus on one thing, and it's also got to be the lifestyle. It's totally got to be the lifestyle. So for me, when I went into that fatigue and burnout, like I was burnout to the supreme. So what I had to end up doing was I had to completely change everything. Completely change. I stopped being a personal trainer actually. And I got more into the food and the nutrition and the raw food and feeding my hormones, learning about feeding and fueling my hormones and my body for this phase of life and how that had to change, and then decreasing my stress, simplifying my life greatly. And I recovered and felt amazing, absolutely amazing. And I lost weight, tons of weight. Yeah, adrenals, most women, very common, most women going through perimenopause will end up in adrenal fatigue because they don't change their life, right? You're not aware that you need to. And so that's why I do the type of work I do. It's hugely important. And for those watching the replay and stuff, I still have my program, Where to Start. And that is for women who are exactly experiencing this or who have gone through it. but never made those changes and are wondering, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to believe. I don't know I don't understand. I don't know who to believe. There's so much conflicting information. Oh my God, what do I do? So I did this Where to Start program because I really wanted a place to start for women where they could get the information and then they could look at it at their own time. They could, watch the videos. There's lots of videos. There's lots of, I give you all the recipes. I give you the handouts. And it's all in a couple places where you can view it at any time you want. And it gives you the knowledge, the how to, the what to do, right? Exactly. So that you can really begin to feel better again and really begin to go, oh, I get it. That makes total sense. So it's really hard when we're not sure of what we need to do, because then you just continue in that cycle, you continue in the phase, and you continue in not feeling so good, and it just leads you don't get out of it. That's the sad things, because our hormones are also always changing. So as I finish menopause now, I'm in more where my estrogen levels are lowering a lot. Muscle loss. I'm noticing a lot of muscle loss really fast. And so I need to do my strength training exercises. So I try to do those every day. My hot flashes are pretty good now since I've decreased my stress. Do you believe it? And I'm in a hot climate, super hot. But yeah, no. Since after moving to Bali and really my life now revolves around the work I love. That's really, I rarely get hot flashes. It feels so much better. Your program resonated with me more than paleo. Oh, thanks, Judy. Yes. And I really do encourage women to eat what feels right for their body. I definitely say if you are somebody who eats meat, just make sure you make the right choices. And paleo does state that too. If people really follow paleo, it is supposed to be like wild meats, organic, grass-fed, all of that. It is not supposed to be conventional junky meat. Keto the same way. I believe keto is not supposed to be junky, conventionally bought meat. And done differently than most of the marketing techniques. So it's so important to find what works for you. I definitely am more the vegetarian, so I definitely attract a lot more women who are less meat, who choosing not to eat meat, who their body doesn't feel good if they eat meat. All of those things. There we go, the internet. If I don't get on before noon here, internet's really bad. That's why I jumped on now. So I thought I would reach out again. I really wanted to do this video because, man, I've got so many women. I just remember that phase going, what the hell is going on? I felt fantastic, and now I feel like a sloth. There we go. See if you guys are seeing. Okay, I'm going to run because my internet's going to cut out probably soon. So anyways, where to start? DianaMarchand.com/WH. So where-to-start. That's where you find that program. It's only $67 now. I was going to raise the price, and I will, but I'm not going to raise the price for about a week and a half, something like that. Anyways, if you have any questions, contact me on Facebook. All right? Thanks for watching, Judy, and whoever else has watched me. Thank you so much. And for those watching the replay, say hello and make sure to be part of my Facebook community, Women Creating Healthy Lives. All right. Bye-bye.